Yeah.
What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. We're going to discuss Monday Night Raw from April the 28th, 2025. A pretty okay show for the most part. It could have been better, but it is what it is. This was a very promo-heavy type of show, so it's fine. Moving on, so we kick the show off with Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Paul Heyman. So Seth Rollins comes out and gets a good reaction. He talks about WrestleMania and how he beat both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, saying that it's about the future of the industry, and it runs through one man. And the future of the industry runs through Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Bron Breakker. So Sami Zayn shows up. He talks about how Seth Rollins and him were friends in the past. Basically, Sami Zayn is not pleased with Seth Rollins. He said that he's got one thing in common that Roman Reigns and CM Punk used to have, and that's the person over his shoulder, Paul Heyman. Sami Zayn said that Seth Rollins had a deep hatred for CM Punk. Well, he thought that, and he sounded self-righteous talking about Roman Reigns. But now Sami Zayn realizes that Seth Rollins is just jealous, which is true. Maybe he wanted to be in the position that they're in. So they continue to banter back and forth. Seth Rollins says that this is the vision of the future. Sami Zayn's either with them or he becomes a target. That's not a threat. And Seth Rollins doesn't want Sami Zayn to become a target. This is bigger than them. It doesn't matter if he hates Sami Zayn as much as Roman Reigns and CM Punk. It doesn't matter if he loves him the way he does Pause. If Sami Zayn stands in their way, he becomes a target. And Seth Rollins doesn't want that for Sami Zayn. They can find a solution for this. Seth Rollins tells the wise men to pull some strings and get Sami Zayn moved off of Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins says that it's not a threat. Sami Zayn is clearly not going to buy into what they're selling. Or maybe they can cash him out. This is not a threat, it's an offer. So, Seth Rollins says no pressure. He tells Sami Zayn to think about it, but he needs an answer by the end of the night. And that was the end of the segment. So this was fine. This was okay. Clearly, we all know what this is setting up for. It's probably going to be War Games. So I guess Team Rollins is going to be Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Karrion Kross, and someone else taking on Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and possibly Jey Uso. So maybe Gunther will add himself into the mix, maybe. I doubt it, though. But I don't know. So, I mean, this is fine, I guess. We still have no real motive as to why this whole faction formed, which is stupid as hell, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can do at this point. I mean, we're now just getting this thing, started. So, I mean, we got time, but there's still no real, no real concrete explanation as to why all this is happening. Really, it's the truth. So, yeah. Moving on. So, this leads us into the first match of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. And it's a no contest. Well, not really, because Julia gets involved. Julia shows up. She chop blocks Rhea Ripley. Referee calls for the bell. Then both Julia and Roxanne Perez, they team up on and try to beat down Rhea Ripley. And then Io Sky comes out to make the save. And then when she shows up, Julia and Roxanne Perez dip out. So this is fine. The match was decent. I still don't understand why Roxanne Perez and Julia are still in this predicament. It makes no damn sense. we get and understand the fact that the main roster, mainly on Raw, their women's division is shit. It's shite. But you don't need to bring in Stephanie Vacker. You don't need to bring in Julia. You can bring in Roxanne Perez, but you really need to bring in the women who are working in TNA, like Chemical X. So GD Dolan, she's been there for years, maybe like a good 4 or 5 years. JC Jane, same thing. You can bring up Fallon Henley as well. She's been there 3 years. She's ready. Jasmine Nix, you can keep her down in NXT. She just got there about a year ago. But you could bring them up. Bring up two-thirds of Fatal Influence. I forgot their name for whatever reason. So Fatal Influence, bring them up. Two-thirds of them. You can also bring up, if you wanted to, you could bring up Chemical X. Two-thirds of them. You can bring up JC Jane. I mean, not JC Jane, but Judy Dolan and Fallon Henley. I mean, my bad. Judy Dolan and Tatum Paxley. I'm sorry about I'm getting names confused, but you can bring up all these women that are in TNA doing stuff there. I get their low-tier mid-carders and stuff, but you could have those types of women in these positions instead of just, keeping them in NXT. And Roxanne Perez, it's time for her to get called up anyway. Like, she's ready for a call-up. She should have been called up, really. If we're being honest, she should have. Because she's ready. It's not like she's not ready. She's fucking ready to go. So, at this point, it is what it is. So, but I think that their women's division on Raw really isn't that great. You need to bring in, like, low mid-card girls to populate it. And you can keep Roxanne Perez in that upper mid-card to main event scene, too. You can put her, in both places, either or. So that's what I would do, but it is what it is. Moving on. More Judgment Day nonsense. So Finn Balor, he embraces the returning of JD McDonough. Before he pulls him aside, Finn Balor says he is surprised to see him return. McDonough says he told Dom, but he didn't get back to Finn Balor. Finn Balor said he wishes he had told him. So JD then apologizes. So Liv Morgan shows up and asks if all's good. Finn Balor says, yeah, they're catching up. She asks why they're not preparing for their match, but Finn Balor is confused. JD says that Liv Morgan thought it would be a good idea that they go after the tag team titles. JD McDonough says he went to Nick Aldis and they have a match against the War Raiders. Liv Morgan thought it was a good idea since Finn Balor is not a champion. Finn Balor says he doesn't have a problem with this, but he wants to be kept in the loop. And then everyone walks off. Carlito says everyone will be a champion. Maybe he should be a champion. That would be cool. And I'm like, okay, who really cares? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Finn Balor, he has plummeted. His stock is nothing now. Like, nothing. I think the only thing that could save Finn Balor is that either he's sent to SmackDown to restart, or you send him to NXT, or you even, God forbid, you release him. But he has done nothing in the past, I would say, 5 years that means anything. He's not really done much of anything outside of his feud with Edge, when Edge was still there, but he has not been relevant in years, and it's sad. And I like Finn Balor, but a lot of people have given up on Finn Balor, and I'm going to throw my name in the hat, I've kind of given up on him. Seriously, it's like you either just have Judgment Day kick him out, and then you send him to SmackDown or NXT and see what he can do there. I know he's been to SmackDown, but he will be a really good, serviceable mid-card guy. I don't know. Moving on. So this leads us into Logan Paul. He gets booed. He says to the crowd. He doesn't know if they all remember that he beat AJ Styles last weekend at WrestleMania. Logan Paul says they don't understand the greatness that's standing in front of them, talking about Kansas City. They're so stupid and don't know what a true legend looks like. He said, this might offend some people, but a true legend does not look like your current world champion, Jey Uso. Logan Paul's had a week to think about it, and he realized that he had done everything there is to do in the industry except win a world title. Not even close, bro. You have not won the tag titles, I don't think. You've not won the WWE Championship. You've not won the IC Championship. You haven't won King of the Ring. You've not won a Royal Rumble. There's a lot of things that he's not done at all. So I don't know why the fuck he said this, but it is what it is. He basically says that Jey Uso's days are numbered because he has something that Logan Paul wants, that he wants. So Jey Uso comes out to a good reaction. So Jey Uso says that he's going to silence Logan Paul's noise. After 15 years of trying to get to the world title, he's not going to hand it over to some punk-ass YouTuber. Jay watched Gunther beat his twin brother to a bloody pulp. But it did something to him. It lit a fire that's not going to ever go out. This title is not given, it's earned, and it belongs to Jey Uso. If he wants it, he can take it. So, then basically Logan Paul says he's going to take the title from Jay. And he said the only thing that Jay is going to do what he does best, and that's crash out, screw up, and lose the title in less than the time he held the IC title. And then Jay hits Logan Paul with a super kick. Okay, this is fine, but why does Logan Paul need to be in this situation? I understand his whole Jey Uso, him defeating AJ Styles at WrestleMania clearly puts him in this position, rightfully so, but come on now, for real. But, it's fine. Logan Paul's not going to win. He's not, so this is fine, but I wish that, somebody like Karrion Kross was in this position. Karrion Kross kicks major ass. He cut a hell of a promo over WrestleMania weekend, and it set the internet ablaze. The internet is 1,000% behind him. I have been a fan of Kross for years, ever since his time on the Indies and in TNA, and his NXT run. But Karrion Kross is someone that needs to be in this position. He should be, and the guy's a main event player. But, it is what it is. But this is fine for Backlash, so that's fine. Moving on, this leads us into the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day. Who cares about this at all? This is a bunch of bullshit. The War Raiders, they get the win. Who cares? They win via the War Machine for the 1, 2, 3. I don't give a single shit about this. So who really gives a damn? And the New Day was on commentary. So wow. Moving on. So Sami Zayn's backstage with Otis for a brief moment. Paul Heyman tells Otis to give them a moment. So Otis leaves. Paul Heyman was thinking about what Sami Zayn said in the ring about the bloodline. They're the OG bloodline. Sami Zayn says it's true, but Paul Heyman blew up whatever was left of it at WrestleMania. And Paul Heyman says that he respected Sami Zayn when he broke away from the bloodline. Perhaps one day Sami Zayn will understand why Paul Heyman had to do what he did. Paul Heyman says Seth Rollins views himself as the future of the industry. Whether he is or isn't, that's how he views himself. Braun Breaker is Seth Rollins' dog at the gate. Whether he is or isn't, that's how he views himself. Braun's demanding a match against Sami Zayn. And Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins can't say no to that because Braun Breaker is the key to their plans. Seth Rollins views Sami Zayn with reverence and is offering a pass. And Sami Zayn accepts a trade to Smackdown. Starting this Friday, everybody wins. Paul Heyman has spoken to Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Seth Rollins is going to do Sami Zayn a favor if he accepts his offer. Paul Heyman says that upon Sami Zayn's trade to SmackDown, he'll face the winner of John Cena or Randy Orton, just like that. He's an instant title contender. Paul Heyman tells Sami Zayn to think of his future and his family's future. Sami Zayn can live in the future or die in the past. And that was it. So that's pretty cool. And then Paul Heyman put his arm around Sami Zayn. He tells him to think about it. Then he walks off. And then Braun Breaker is standing in the doorway, seething with anger. Okay, cool stuff there. Moving on. So Becky Lynch finally reveals why she attacked Lyra and Bayley. So Becky Lynch revealed that she was the culprit who took out Bayley. So that woman has attacked her nonstop since 2019. Not one time did Bayley ever even apologize to her. Bayley forgets what this business is, while Bayley is begging for people like her and wondering why she isn't a bigger star. So then Becky brings up Lyra Valkyria. She said, there's an old phrase that goes around, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but the reverse works also, the friend of my enemy is my enemy. Lyra would with me in this business if it wasn't for Becky. Lynch had high hopes for her, but Valkyria was cozying up to the woman who she's been fighting with for 6 years. She even tried to save her. She wanted Lyra to ditch that bitch, which was funny right there. That was great. She would have never won the titles with Bayley, and then Lyra was already compromised. She's already a loser. So Lyra then comes out. Lyra says that Becky Lynch had high hopes for her, but many women warned her about Becky Lynch. Bayley was the first. She told Lyra that Becky Lynch would step on anyone's throat to get ahead. Lyra didn't buy into it, but she said after multiple manhandle slams, she knew exactly who Becky was. She said the illusion that Becky Lynch is dead. Lyra wants her to make her pay, and she did. For what she did to Bayley. Lyra said she can't believe Becky's running away. Lyra reminds Becky that she beat her for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky said she only fights when it matters. And Lyra says that she's going to put her title on the line at Backlash against her. And then Lyra attacks Becky. And then Becky dips out. And then Lyra poses on the stage. And then Becky attacks Lyra from behind and beats her up. So good stuff there. Interesting stuff. I do like this. So good. Good shit. Good shit here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But good stuff nonetheless. So, well, actually, no. Before we move on. So I do think that it's probably going to be Becky versus Bayley for the entire summer. And then Becky will end up facing Lyra, because Lyra will be in the chase position. So that's fine. So I expect for Lyra to win her title back probably at Survivor Series. So Becky will probably be champion for a while. So the Becky and Bayley feud should be quite interesting. That's a pretty good spring and summer feud, and should be interesting. Moving on. Penta is backstage. Nick Aldis says he can't let Penta interfere in matches since he interfered in the Judgment Day War Raiders match earlier on. But he won't fight him. Nick Aldis says he made a match next week for him versus JD McDonough. Penta is excited. So Chad Gable shows up with Ivy Nile. Chad Gable says he wants to talk to a luchador on the descent. Chad Gable says Penta beat him in his first match, but look at him now. Penta's losing at WrestleMania wasn't his favorite moment. It was his useless brother, Rey Fenix, who lost to El Grande Americano. And then Penta kicks Gable down, and then he shouts that he messed with the Lucha Bros. Nice, good stuff. Penta is somebody who's already fallen off by the wayside. He's been in WWE for 4 months now, and it's not good. I mean, he'll be fine, but come on, man. Like, I don't know. Moving on. So, this leads us into a video package involving Rusev. So, Rusev said that he had it all once upon a time. He had the gold, the fame, and a tank at WrestleMania. Then he lost himself. He left the WWE and fell into the abyss in Bulgaria, a.k.a. AEW, which is nice. A nice little dig there. He found himself in the abyss and fixed himself, a.k.a. AEW. In hell, he realized he won't fight for a woman that isn't his or a flag that never was. He had an epiphany. Rusev is free to cuss people not because he was told to, but because he wants to. He will use his hands and jack body for good. Rusev will hunt the flawed, the arrogant, and those who waste their talents just like he did. Through pain, he will perfect them all for good. He is the tempest rolling in. Rusev will hunt them, fix them, just as he fixed himself. This was a pretty good promo, but it would have been more effective if it was in like a church or something like that. That would have been more effective. And him taking on Otis next week, it doesn't look good. It's the same ballpark for Aleister Black, where he's taking on The Miz on Smackdown. Not a good look, but you brought those two guys in. I'm guessing Triple H is going to slowly build them back up as strong mid-carder / main event guys. Well, that's fine there. Moving on, Stephanie Vacker, she defeats Ivy Nile. Decent little match. So, Ivy Nile, I like her. She's got a good look and everything else, but she needs an actual manager behind her. I would dare to say we should put Ivy Nile back in NXT. I really do think she'd do well there because the Raw Women's division is so weak, and I do want her to succeed. But it would just be better for her to go back to NXT for at least a good year. So, just what it is. Moving on. So, Nick Aldis, he's giving a pep talk to AJ Styles. Even though it didn't go his way at WrestleMania, AJ Styles can get back on the horse with a few new He can get back on the horse with a few list of new opponents. So, Liv Morgan shows up. And along with Raquel Rodriguez and Dominic Mysterio. So Liv said she hates to tank the ratings on Raw, but she'll be gone for a bit because she's filming a big movie in Hollywood. Okay, cool. So Nick Aldis says that the paperwork came through and she's good to go. Dom says that he needs time off as well. Nick Aldis says why. Dom says that he's a champion. Nick Aldis says, nah, that's not going to happen. He should listen to his pops. When you're a champion, you show up more. You're doing double. You work double. And you get more pay, too. Dom asked, what's he talking to AJ Styles about? Finding a retirement home? He didn't break his hip like his deadbeat dad. Styles said he'd love to break ups. He'd like to break something. And then Liv pulls Dom away. And then Styles turns to AJ Styles, says that he has an idea. So that's great. I do like this. AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. Let's go. I'm willing to bet you this won't make the Backlash card. I guarantee you this will probably be on the Go Home show, the Backlash. The Monday Night Raw Go Home show. I'm willing to bet you guys everything that I own. Not really, though. But, good and damn well that AJ Styles is not going to be on Backlash. It sucks, but, it is what it is. Moving on. So Sami Zayn, he's pacing backstage when Karrion Kross walks up. Karrion Kross says that he has a big decision to make. Hopefully he makes the correct one. All right, cool. Moving on. So Pat McAfee, he got time to talk about what happened last week to him. He ended up putting himself over greatly. Talked about, his upbringing, how he came through the East Hills of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was the son of a truck driver who lived paycheck to paycheck. He put over a bunch of other stuff. He said that he gives back to a bunch of communities, from children's hospitals, military foundation, homeless shelters, LGBT communities, public schools, and underprivileged communities. Nice. Good stuff there. He hopes to see that he left the world better than he found it. Last but not least, when he's dead and gone, they'll say he was a loyal motherfucker. Obviously, he couldn't say it on television. They bleeped it out. But we got what he was putting down. So, MacAfee said he's going to ride for Who Rides With Him. He said that he's going to protect Michael Cole. And then he calls out... So, Pat McAfee then says, after it happened, he got attacked from behind. Pat McAfee has seen himself chucked out all over social media and television. His friends and family have been warning him about Gunther. So then McAfee curses and says, if I die, I die. Damn, I love that. So McAfee then calls out Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis tells him to keep it professional. He says that he knows that he's a middle manager, that being Nick Aldis. So Pat McAfee's happy that Gunther is not here. He wants Nick Aldis to lift the suspension. The answer is no. He says they're both valuable assets to the company, but at Backlash, it'll be a sanctioned match in the WWE ring, Gunther versus Pat McAfee at Backlash. Okay, cool. But if Gunther cannot beat Pat McAfee in about 5 to 10 minutes, we got a fucking problem. So it is what it is. Moving on. So Sami Zayn is in deep thought backstage. Jey Uso shows up. Jay says he has a big decision to make. Jey Uso says whatever that decision is, he loves Sami Zayn, and then both of them, they embrace. So then this leads us into the closing segments. Basically, Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn, they rehashed what they did earlier on in the night. Seth talks about the future and everything else. He talked about his kids. So basically, Sami Zayn refuses to back down. He said he's not going to be threatened. And he's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. He's going to be a WWE champion one day. When he does, it won't be because of any favors from anyone. He'll get it because he did it the right way. And then he tells Seth Rollins that he loves him. Pause. And he tells him to go to hell. So then this leads us into the main event of the evening. Bron Breakker basically defeats Sami Zayn via referee stoppage. Bron Breakker did not 1, not 2, but 3 spears. 2 in the ring, 1 on the outside, and another one on the outside. Rollins ended up talking to Sami Zayn, saying, accept the offer. And then he told him to go to hell, that being Sami Zayn. And then Seth Rollins stomped Sami Zayn. He stomped him. So Rollins and Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker, they stood tall. So this is pretty cool. Like this, interesting. I guess this sets up, eventually a War Games down the line, probably. So we'll have to see how that, stuff goes. But all in all, this was an okay show. It could have been a lot better. Definitely very promo heavy. They're taking time to build this new dominant heel faction. We don't know if there's going to be other people involved, like Karrion Kross. We don't know, hopefully. Bron Breakker, Paul Heyman, it's fine. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman is fine, I guess, too. But, it is what it is. But what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.